he urinated on it to put out the flames. So for a few years, I did these runway events down in Florida, and they were pretty wild because we had a crazy cast of characters, and people were always showing up with wild stuff. There were a lot of Ford GTs, a lot of twin turbo cars. There were Vipers, there were Lamborghinis. There were just Diablos that showed up, and there were heavily modified turbo Porsches. Over the years, we've seen some of these performance shops come and go. A lot of war stories. And so Universal Autosports, actually, they crashed a Koenigsegg. It was a private event that they did. Interesting enough, the Koenigsegg that was crashed from Universal Autosports was actually their business partner's car. So Universal Autosports was originally opened by a head mechanic of Ferrari of Long Island, the head salesman of Ferrari of Long Island, and their silent partner, who was just a huge car guy. When they opened that company, they wanted a franchise. So they wanted the Koenigsegg franchise. And to get the Koenigsegg franchise, well, you got to have a Koenigsegg. So the owner, who was a very, very, very wealthy man who was in a lot of different businesses. One of them was a credit card processing industry. So he funded it. He bought the Koenigsegg. That Koenigsegg has been wrecked. And I could be wrong, but I'm going to say it was 3 times. It was sent back to Sweden multiple times to be rebuilt. Crazy enough, it was never wrecked by the owner. It was always wrecked by Universal. And I'll tell you a real funny story. At the time, I had my transport company, so I had an enclosed transport truck, and we transported the car for them. So we had transported the car down to Florida for a show. And when we transported it back, the car was on the top rack. And when my guy pulled it out onto the lift, smoke started coming out of the engine compartment. And my guy was up high on the lift, on the second tier. No fire extinguisher in sight. He started panicking. The only thing he could think of, and I'm sure I'm going to catch for this one, he urinated on it to put out the flames. So he's probably the only guy I know that's ever peed on a Koenigsegg just to put out the flames. And then he washed it down just to make sure. He turned the battery switch off, wouldn't start the car. It was a crazy sequence to start the car, and they trained him to do it. You had to hit all these switches and just to start the car. But yeah, it was like a small flare-up, and he actually urinated on it. So the car didn't burn to the ground. He delivered the car to them, and this is where it gets even crazier. So he gets back to New York. He tells me, I'm going to go deliver the car now. I said, are they there? He said, yeah, they were waiting for me because they wanted the mechanics to look at the car because I told them there was a problem and that, I saw some smoke. I said, did you pass on the urination part? He goes, I passed on that part. But so he delivered the car. Just after that, it started raining. On his way back to my shop, to my yard with the truck, he said that the windshield wipers started going on and off and the headlights started flashing on my tractor. I had a Volvo tractor. And I said, well, that's odd. I said, well, bring it back and we'll bring it to the dealer in the morning. It was a fairly new truck. So he parked it in the yard. And I think it was about 6 hours later, I got a call that the truck burned to the ground. It was a total fire. Something electrically went wrong with the truck. And the whole truck and trailer burned to the ground. So thank God we had dropped off the Koenigsegg, because that Koenigsegg would have been absolutely destroyed. And then came the fun part, dealing with an insurance claim. So what happens with that is people start spreading rumors. Oh, I bet I know what happened. They probably lit the truck on fire. I'm under investigation for like 2 years, making my payments on the truck and trailer for 2 years. Finally, I get paid. They determine it started at the firewall. It had nothing to do with me. We finally get paid. P.S. 2 days after I get paid, I receive a postcard in the mail from Volvo North America that says there's a recall with the windshield wiper motor that a fire can start at the firewall and cause a catastrophic failure. What does my fire report say from the fire marshal? Windshield wiper motor at the firewall. I had gotten paid, except I had gotten paid value and not anything but value, and my loan got paid off. So at that point, I had my attorney handle the rest of it, went to Volvo, made a claim, and they actually were very good about it. They saw what the payoff was. They gave me back my deductible, and they gave me the difference from what I originally paid for the truck. So it ended off well at the end, and everybody was absolved of everything. And yeah, it was a crazy situation. The Koenigsegg that had been in multiple accidents, I know that one of the accidents was on when a little rally, like a little drive that the dealership decided to do one morning, and they decided to take a drive, and the managing partner of the dealership wiped out and wrecked the car. The other accidents, I'm not really aware of the logistics behind them, and the car still exists today. The owner still has the car. I know the owner's son pretty well. The car's in great shape. Koenigsegg did a phenomenal job, and every time I went back, they upgraded things, and I know they've paid for a lot of upgrades. And it's still an awesome car. I mean, look, Koenigsegg is an amazing, amazing supercar.
I'm super pumped to announce that in 2024, VINwiki is partnering with Bridgestone. So throughout the year, you're going to hear some great stories from their business, some awesome tire testing and things like that we're going to do. I've had a lot of Bridgestone and Firestone products over the years and loved them all. I know that you will too, but I want you to check out their Potenza line of tires for sports cars, supercars, and hypercars. Whatever your needs, whether it's ultimate track performance, road performance, or all-season performance, there is a Potenza tire for you. So check them out at the link in the description below and let us know what you think.